A silent epidemic is spreading among modern men. It doesn't leave scars, nor does it show up in blood tests, but it destroys from the inside out. It's the compulsive need to be liked, approved, and harmless. From an early age, you were conditioned to lower your head, smile politely, and agree, not because it was right, but because it was safe. With each nod of agreement, each fake smile, each yes when you meant no, a part of you died. That's the first death of a man, not the death of his body, but the death of his edge. In that moment, you stopped being a man and became a dog, predictable, tail wagging, not out of joy, but out of fear. Fear of being rejected, ignored, or unloved. Machiavelli warned us, a wise man must learn how not to be good when the situation requires it, because in a world ruled by power, virtue alone is a leash. The world doesn't love the dog. It uses him. It praises his loyalty when useful, punishes his disobedience when he resists, and when his tail stops wagging, he's replaced. The tragedy isn't in his kindness, it's in his illusion. The belief that being harmless guarantees love, that loyalty earns protection, and obedience earns legacy. But life doesn't reward the agreeable. It rewards the dangerous, the capable, the man who can smile but never kneels. So ask yourself, are you living like a man or surviving like a dog? If you've ever swallowed your truth to keep the peace, begged for love and called it connection, or felt invisible despite doing everything right, then it's time. Time to stop performing. Time to kill the dog inside you. The world will tame you, use you, and forget you. But the wolf, he doesn't ask to be remembered. He makes himself unforgettable. If you feel something stirring inside you, something raw, ancient, don't ignore it. This is your call. A moment where you stop kneeling, where you reclaim your power. Subscribe, not just to follow, but to walk this path with men who choose clarity over comfort, edge over approval, and power over praise. This isn't just content, it's a call to rebirth. Let the wolf rise. Step 1, realize the system that trains you to fail. You weren't raised to lead. You were trained to obey. From the very start, you were rewarded for being agreeable and punished for resistance. Taught to be kind, helpful, and to say yes, even when you meant no. Slowly but surely, obedience was carved into your spine, not strength, self-respect, or strategic power, just predictability. Here's the truth no one tells you. The world doesn't reward loyalty. It uses it. It doesn't respect the obedient. It forgets them the moment they're no longer useful. The system is designed to raise workers, not warriors. Dependents, not thinkers. Men who ask permission before speaking and apologize for wanting more. And once that training is complete, you stop acting on instinct. You hesitate, shrink, and that's when the real death begins. The death of initiative, edge, and masculine force. Machiavelli didn't write for the polite or submissive. He wrote for rulers, men who see the world for what it truly is, a stage of performance and power. Predators wear suits, and pleasantries hide ambition. Those who bow are stepped on. Those who stand are feared. Look around you. Who rises? The man who stays late, never complains, gives everything, and expects nothing? Or the one who sets boundaries, speaks clearly, and walks with presence? In love, who's desired? The man who gives endlessly, sacrifices himself to be chosen, or the one who knows his worth, doesn't chase, and can walk away without flinching? The truth is brutal but clear. This world doesn't reward kindness. It respects scarcity, power, and capability. The nice guy is applauded in theory, but discarded in reality, because he was never trained to protect, only to please. And in times of war, whether emotional, professional, or personal, A man who cannot bite is just noise. Step 2. Identify the loyalty trap. How they make you chain yourself. Loyalty. More dangerous than betrayal, more seductive than love, and more effective at keeping men in chains than any king could ever be. You were taught that loyalty makes you good, proves your integrity, and is the measure of a strong man. But no one told you the other half of the truth. Loyalty, when given without power, is just another word for slavery. Loyalty without leverage becomes a leash. Worst of all, loyalty to the wrong person becomes a death sentence. Machiavelli knew that rulers don't admire loyalty because it's noble. They admire it because it's useful. A loyal man is predictable, controllable, easy to manage, and unlikely to rebel. That's exactly what the world wants from you. Your boss wants you loyal but underpaid. Your partner wants you loyal but voiceless. Your leaders want you loyal but blind. The moment you resist, the moment you stop being convenient, you're no longer loyal. You're dangerous. Loyalty is never about you. It's about them. Their comfort, their dominance, their control. You're just the insurance policy. So ask yourself, who are you loyal to? A system that drains you? A relationship that shames you? A job that replaces you the moment you speak up? Be honest. Are you loyal or are you afraid? Afraid of starting over? Afraid of being called selfish? Afraid of being alone? So you stay. You bend. You break yourself in the name of honor. But it's not honor. It's fear dressed as virtue, and it's killing you. A man who refuses to walk away from what no longer serves him will never rise. He'll stay small, stuck, forgotten. History doesn't remember the loyal. It remembers the victors, the adaptable, the men who knew when to shift allegiance, when to walk away, when to burn the flag and plant their own. Step 3. See the power of perceived danger. Why being liked makes you weak. Let's be clear. Being liked isn't power. It's comfort. A soft cushion of approval that smothers your edge. It makes you nice but forgettable, visible but never respected. The man who obsesses over being liked will shapeshift to fit the room. He'll dilute his truth, mute his instincts, and soften his fire. Then he'll wonder why no one listens. Machiavelli didn't write for the agreeable, the polite, the people-pleasers. He wrote for those who command. Command doesn't come from charm. It comes from presence. Real presence doesn't beg. It doesn't entertain. It doesn't smile to earn space. It sits still, watches, and strikes, not in words, but in energy. You've felt this before. A man enters the room, and everything shifts. People speak more carefully, measure their words. Not because he's loud, but because he might not be. That's the power of perceived danger. Not the danger of aggression, but of silence. A man who says little but could do much. A man who doesn't seek peace, but holds it because no one wants to disturb him. Step 4. You need the mask of the wolf. Appear harmless, remain dangerous. Power isn't always loud. In fact, the most dangerous men in history wore masks. They didn't shout, they didn't threaten. They smiled, blended in, and let the world believe they were soft. Until it was too late. Machiavelli understood this. A ruler must know how to appear virtuous, even when his actions contradict that image. Why? Because showing strength too soon makes you a target. The moment people sense your edge, they try to dull it. They fear it, and when they fear it, they strike first. But the man who appears harmless, modest, agreeable, naive, he's the one who survives long enough to become untouchable. Underestimated, overlooked, dismissed. That's his power. In the shadows of doubt, he sharpens his instincts, studies the room, and learns everyone's game while never revealing his own. You don't need to roar to be feared. You don't need to announce your strength to possess it. The wolf doesn't howl before the kill. He moves in silence. He waits for the exact moment, and when it comes, he doesn't hesitate. That's the art of survival, not deception, not cruelty. Controlled ruthlessness.